Oh, God, I'm gonna be sore in the morning. Welcome back to AM2R, where we have narrowly escaped with our life. Oh, God. So, there is a bit to talk about with that escape sequence. The first of all is, yes, you can die from a timeout in that section. The catch is that, assuming you're going at a reasonable pace or, well, honestly, even if you're falling quite a bit behind, you would have to be really slow for it to actually catch up with you. Or you would have to mess up a whole lot during one of the final sections. Because you see, you might have noticed that there were points during that sequence where the bar would fill up very quickly, very suddenly. Because the time limit is actually rubber banded to you a little bit based on what room you're in. The reason is to make you nervous. It's to give you tension when you're going through it and make you realize, oh god, it's just gonna keep going up. I don't have time to dawdle around. And you couldn't do that with something like an actual ticking timer or whatever. So they use a bar to keep the time limit itself somewhat ambiguous and let it sort of fill up a little faster than usual at points to keep the pressure on. I think it really works, especially for that first time you're going through it, and you're probably more focused on you yourself moving and getting out than you are on the timer itself. It obviously doesn't have the same impact on your second or third or fourth playthrough of the game, but, I mean, I feel like the same could be said for most time sequences in video games. But as a result of all of that, we have power bombs. Power bombs are real good in this game. In the past 2D Metroids, personally I've always found power bombs to be kinda underwhelming. Either just that they're not very good for combat, or that they... Well, really, that's kind of it, is that as combat tools, they're usually pretty bad. Their primary purpose has almost always been to simply let you get more items, which, on its own, that's not bad. But for an item called power bombs, you'd expect a little more out of them, you know? And I feel like the Prime series, and even Other M, did a good job of making them feel big and powerful. And this game especially does a fantastic job of that. Like, look, I've been laying one down these past couple rooms, and everything in the entire area just gets annihilated in an instant. It feels so good to use these things. And the effects, the explosion, and the sounds and all of that, it's just really good. I love power bombs in this game. But we're pretty much done with everything in Area 4 at this point. We got our power bombs, we killed all the Metroids. All you gotta do is like pick up one or two items after that, and we're out of here. I think this missile's actually the last one around here. And this. Keep that in mind for later. Just gonna throw that out there. With power bombs, though, we're not exactly going to be heading down as our first priority. There's something else we can do now that we have them. Something that you might not think to do right now because, well, you might not remember it. But there is a certain location that we have been to relatively recently, actually, that is a little, shall we say, blocked off. And no matter how many times I see these guys, I'm never going to remember how to deal with them effectively. Those enemies are the kinds that I'm just like, no, powerbomb, get out of my face. Plasma beam definitely does help taking them out, though, I will say that much. I suppose it's also worth mentioning that there are no powerbomb drops in this game. You can't get them as refills from enemies. The only way you refill on powerbombs is by either collecting a powerbomb tank or using a save point, which restores all your ammo. So, there you go. It's a little annoying at times, but save points are pretty plentiful, so I don't generally find it to be an issue. It's just sometimes it can be. Hard mode is where it's most noticeable because you start with only one power bomb and as a result only get one per tank. But yeah, you might notice we're heading back to the research site where we first encountered our first instance of 2 Metroids. There's a question that we now need to answer. How the heck did they get down here? That's how. They just dug straight down into the core of the Earth and used some weird light elevator. I mean, it works. If I had a pocket elevator, like they do apparently, I'd certainly use it whenever I could. But here we are again, on the surface of SR-388. Quite a long ways away from the caverns we've been exploring all this time, and not too far from our own ship even. There's a lot to this place, so we're gonna take it one step at a time. First of all, this room. Can't help but shake the feeling that this room looks a little familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure it can't be anything important. Probably just my imagination. Yeah, this place is pretty big, and in all honesty, the outer area is rather empty as well. We get a nice view of the SR-388 sunset at least, so that's pretty nice. Very peaceful, very beautiful, very orange. And from here we can also see the ship that the rescue team took to get to SR-388. So where is the research vessel then, you might be asking? Well, I'll just tell you right now, it's immediately to the left of us. Like, we're seeing it right now. We're inside of it. We're in it. And it doesn't exactly feel very welcoming. It's dark, the lights are dim, the music is ominous. Why are they playing that over the loudspeakers? I don't know. And based on the fact that there are bodies sitting around, something had to have happened. And I don't like that thought. Gotta give some props to the background detail in this place though. There's a lot going on in some of these rooms that I really appreciate. Speaking of details, coming up here we've got a save point, and it's the thing they used for downloading weapons and refilling your missiles in Metroid Fusion. Don't know if you can tell, but this entire area is a giant smorgasbord of Fusion references, and I think it's handled pretty well. Like, you've got the little subtler things, and then you've got some more in-your-face stuff. You know, part of Box's brain. I think this is one of the aquatic enemies? Not too sure. Then we've got a piece of Nightmare's armor. And then we've got this. That's not a good sign. Genesis. Originally a sort of generic enemy in Metroid Fusion that really didn't have a ton going on for it, now turned into a very, very deadly mini-boss that will tear you to shreds in an instant. This is one of those boss fights where iframes just basically don't exist. That acid blood that it has will annihilate you if you are way too close into it. Taking a couple hits from afar, okay, you'll probably be fine. You'll lose like 30 or something health like that, no big deal. Get right up close, oh, your energy tanks are draining quickly after that. Genesis has a fairly simple pattern though, all things considered. It likes to get down, and if it's close, take a swipe at you, or if it's far away, take a breath at you. I'm not sure take a breath at you is an actual phrase that exists, but you get the picture. Likes to hang out on the ceiling when it's not trying to get you on the ground, and that makes it pretty easy to predict where you're gonna have to shoot at it to actually hit the damn thing. And the plasma beam is a big help because of the rapid fire. as opposed to super missiles, which are not terribly rapid fire, and it does a fair bit of damage. I feel like super missiles are still probably your best way of doing damage, but plasma beam over missiles, I would say, is the way to go here. Power bombs, I'm not actually sure they do that much damage to it, but if you really just don't know where they are and don't want to try getting close to them, may as well lay one or two down if you absolutely gotta. Genesis is a boss that will probably destroy your face the first time you get through it, and then after that, once you know the pattern, will not really cause you any issues after that. But I do have to say, I absolutely adore the build-up to it and the entire just atmosphere of this area. It's very well done, and I like it a lot. But that being said, we've actually pretty much done everything in this place. So, it's time for us to get out. The GFS Thoth has been a wonderful place full of very, very wonderful things that wanted to kill us, and now we are leaving forever. I have a bit more to say about this place, but not right now. That'll be for a bonus later. This room also, the one I just sped through, it really seems like one of those rooms in Metroid where you would lay a power bomb down and everything around you would break and you would find a secret. No, there's no glass there, which is the real big tell that that's not the case, but hey. When you're coming up this elevator the first time around also, you can just not use the elevator. You can just wall jump or shine spark up if you're really, really good at maintaining that. It's fun. I've done it. But it's also really, really tricky, so there you go. With that diversion aside though, we are on our way truly to the 5th area in this game now, which we're not going to get to until next time because we've already spent a ton of time just exploring around in these other side areas. I'm going to say right off the bat, Area 5 is going to take quite a bit more time than the past areas have. We've been able to knock out areas, 2, 3, 4, all that, in, a couple parts each, maybe 3. But Area 5? We're gonna be in that for the long haul. See you guys next time when we explore uncharted territory.